Hello, everyone, and welcome to this holiday special. I am extremely excited about the project that we will be working on today because you can either do it for the printer or do it at home. You can add your personal touch. You can use it as a conversational piece for your Christmas parties. There is a lot that we can do with it. And without further ado, let me tell you what we will actually be doing. Actually, no, let me just hold the suspense a little bit longer. I want to say hi to our friends here. We have Alessandra, we have Voodoo Val, we have Patrick, Francisco. It is so nice to see all of you here. Okay, I guess I have made you wait long enough. What we will be working on today is a card, calendar, album, however you want to call it. Look at how cute this is. So essentially, when you open it up, just like a gift, there's much more that comes out. So it's like an accordion. And the reason why I wanted to do a retrospective is because personally, I haven't had the chance to actually sit down and think about the year that I just had. And this time of year brings that feeling. As for all of you, we're already seeing posts on Instagram. But also because whenever I talk to my family, they never understand what I do, or we can never go much in depth into a conversation when it comes about what I do, my travels, my wins. The question that I mostly get is, do you still work from home? So I'm like, okay, if ever we put some pictures here of each month of stuff that they don't know about, maybe this will get the conversation going. And I want this to be the same thing for you. So let's hop here to my screen and let's look at this wonderful mood board that I have put together for you. So as I was scrolling through Pinterest and Behance, these are some designs that caught my eye. So I actually did not know how I wanted to build this conversational piece for my family, but I was like, I want to do something that represents me. And if you know me, you know that I like print, you know that I like books, you know that I like anything that is tactile, and just something to bring with you and keep with you that, you can put in that memory box. So I was seeing those designs that I really, really liked. And when I start thinking about it, I was like, this is actually very easy to do. So here are my top two that I really liked. This is exactly what we will be doing today. I did like this design. We won't have time to do a design like this today, but this is just to show you that you can basically do anything with this. You could even take this concept and bring it back to a campaign for your work. It could be something that you're throwing at an event. Like, there's so much that you can do with it. And we are going to explore this today. So you have some files to download. So there is two. There is the one that you can print with the printer, or this here that you can print at home. If we have time, maybe I'll do this one too. I have an example for you regardless. So here, just quickly, because this was already pre-set up for all of you, I just want to show you why it is set up in this specific way. Specifically, if you are new to print, or if you are maybe just not used to working in Illustrator, which is totally okay. You're at the right place, my friend. So we have some layers over here. That's the artboard. My bad. I want to go to the layers. And we have a few here. So this is important to separate, specifically if you send it to print. If you print it at home, all the layers are just going to print all on one, which is totally okay. It's technically doing the same at a printer. But what I want you to notice is the hole, which is this here. This is where we put our ribbon. The score lines, this is where the printer will put like a line so you can fold it properly and the paper does not break. And photo and design, this is where we want to work. So I'm just going to lock the hole and the lines. And if this is bothering you too and you want to get them out of the way, you can always just turn them off by clicking the eye icon on the side. Oh, I'm seeing Megan on YouTube. Hey, Sergio. Sergio is a good friend of mine. Thank you so much for being here. I see Oliver and Robert, Umacorn. Thank you for watching, everyone. This means so much to me. Okay, so I will keep the score lines just because it is helping me on how I am separating my whole design. Now, this was a little bit of a math test for me whenever I was putting up this template. So here, basically these here will be where you put your content. This little lanyard, I don't know how you want to call that, but this little extra piece that you see on both ends is very important, because if we go back to this here, see how it's glued inside for this extra piece to just be able to be all in one piece. This is important. So this is why we need to have that little piece. So please don't dismiss that. Also, if you are working with a printer, don't put any ink on it, because sometimes when I say ink, don't put any design, because whenever ink and glue is mixed, sometimes it does not glue properly and it gets really messy. So just keep it clean for them. All right. So this was a bit, like I said, a bit of a math challenge for me, because I had to measure everything. And I wanted also to make sure that the size was appropriate to put in the mail, to give someone, and not something that is too big, because then it's like, what do I do with it after? So this you can easily put in a drawer and keep it forever. So the size that I went with, and for the cover, I wanted to go bigger. So I have, it's 7 by 5.5, like so. And the reason why is that whenever it's folded, it's 3.5 by 5. And here for the whole page, I guess, that is separated, it is 18.5 by 5. So I wanted to make sure that the page that we have inside that we're inserting and gluing is smaller in order to create a book effect. Again, if we go back here, as you can see, it seems a little smaller than the actual cover. Okay. Another thing that I want you to notice is that there is already some image box that are placed here. If you want to work with them, I will show you exactly how to add, I say image, but really it could be anything. I will show you how to do a clipping mask in order for everything to fit properly. This is just something that you can use to your advantage, just to understand how everything was pre-measured for you. But please go nuts. You don't have to follow these at all. This is just something to get you started and, you know, have fun with it. Okay. So the reason why, like I said, I wanted to do a retrospective was also to force me to look through my own pictures. And I found a few things. Now, if I wanted to have a look that is a bit more old, or because it's the year that has just passed, maybe we want to have everything black and white. So I'll show you exactly what to do. So, okay, so this here was my canvas. It's not letting me draw inside, but that's okay. We can just draw this shape again. So here, if you want to actually put an image directly like you would do in InDesign, you can click the icon here, draw inside, you can go to File, Place, and here you can go find your photos. And I have already picked all of my photos. January, my memory is just working hard at this office with my cat beside me. Like so. The cool thing too, if you want to go very quickly afterwards and you like having the full image that's taking the full space, you can just copy it like so. You can go into your links panel, click on the relink icon, and then go and select another image. Sometimes it does this, it will actually make the image on the other side, but that's okay because you can still just hold the shift key, turn it down, and then you can position your image. You can also make it bigger, smaller. So my highlight of February this year was going to San Francisco and doing a live in person, which it was so fun. Now, okay, so as I'm adding the image, I'm already seeing that there's like the color scheme is not necessarily working and it's not achieving the look that I want. And that is totally fine, because what we can do here is select our image from the links panel, click on the pencil icon. It's going to open directly in Photoshop. It's like it knows already. If you're not familiar with Photoshop, that is okay, because it's very easy to just remove all of the colors. I want to have this in black and white, so I'm just going to click on this icon here, go to hue and saturation, and on the saturation I'm just going to bring it all the way down. See how it is bringing down, like just removing all the colors. And I'm going to just add a bit of brightness. So sometimes whenever you do remove the saturation, you need to add a bit of brightness, because specifically, again, if you're going to print, you need to add a bit more contrast. Even maybe removing contrast. If you add some brightness, just making sure. Because the printer tends to be just a tad darker than what we see on screen. And I'm going to save that as. I always try to save as a new, so then I don't save on top of my original file in case I need to go back to it. This is just because I learned the hard way. All right. Now we will need to relink this because I made it a new file. Like so. All right, so you get the idea. You fill your pages with all of the images that you want it to be. This here would be January, February, March, etc., etc., etc. So now I think that whenever you have a good idea, let me just add that quickly so we can have a better look of how it looks. It's also important to have the bleed on, just because whenever you do get it printed, you want to make sure that all the images are bleeding to the side, so then you're trimming those images and you won't have any white lines that's showing up. It will look super professional. But see here, because this one is at the end, I actually need to redo this one to make sure that the bleed works for this edge here. So that's okay. We'll just restart it and I'll add a new image as well. I don't have to go here and do the draw inside. I can also just place an image, and I have already all done. It did everything in black and white. I believe this one is June. Oh, did I do? Hold on, something's happening here. I am still in draw inside. This will happen. That's why sometimes I don't always like to do the draw inside. Let me just do a new shape, so it's the proper shape. Perfect. Then I will go to File and Place, June. I will bring my shape on top. Want to make sure that it's at the front right here. So if you're wondering, my memory for the month of June was actually seeing all of the merch that I designed for the Ottawa Jazz Festival. When I actually went to the Jazz Festival and seeing people walking around with their bucket hat with the logo I had designed and that fun illustration, that was definitely a highlight. Something that my family knows nothing about. Okay, so if we want here to mask it, very easy. Command 7 if you're on a Mac. It will do a clipping mask and then you can add it right here. So you get the idea, you add your images, but then let's start to design it a little bit. So, because you can keep it with just images, but it would be fun just to add a little bit more, maybe rhythm to it. What do you think? And also, as we are talking about retrospectives, I would love to know in the chat, what is your best memory of 2024? It could be a memory, it could be something that you're proud of, it could be, you know, just something that you want to share with all of the people watching right now. Let us know what you would like to share with us, and I will make sure to mention it. So here I'm just playing with the size. And this is why I also like to create a mood board. It's to be able to go back to something just so I can get it inspired again, whether it's colors, whether it's just layout. So if we go back here, I really like this, and I think this is really fun because you can add a small description underneath. We could add the month. I do like this a lot too in color. But I think for the vibe that I'm going for right now, black and white is definitely the choice. But yeah, I do like that one a lot too. That is kind of random, but we can only make one for now. But then after you have the template, you can basically do whatever you want, whatever your heart desires. So Alessandra said, doing cross-country trip to get my Adobe Max and got to meet Izzy and Phil in person. Yeah, this is your top memory, Alessandra? This is so sweet. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's bring this down here. Or maybe I will actually not use the rectangle, but I will use a square. And this here would be May. Let's bring that image. Oh, okay. May is a funny story because I was hosting an event at the Ottawa Design Club, and as you can see, my friend Nikki and I, who spoke at this event, so she made me dance on stage, and I had no idea that this was a thing. It was not planned. It's just she put some music on and I was on stage and she just started dancing. So I didn't want to just stand there not doing anything, so I decided to dance as well. And then it was caught on camera, not only just a photo, but also it was filmed. So that was definitely a highlight of 2024, dancing with Nikki. So just to give you context, I don't even dance at wedding. So for me to do this was something else. So, okay, let's bring that back here. I guess we're not seeing much that we're dancing here. So something that you can do if you're not happy with your clipping mask, you can just use the direct selection tool. So it could be just A, and then you can move your image around. But also if you want to make it smaller, you can just click V, and then you can hold your shift key just to keep the proportions. We need to understand that we're dancing. If it's cropped too tight, we don't get it. There you go. Now we get it. Perfect. We're gonna bring it here. Just going to change this quickly. So we're actually working with March. March, my highlight was that it was my birthday, and I mean, I guess it's a half milestone. I'm definitely aging myself here, but I turned 35, and this one hit hard because you're like, okay, I'm no longer in my young 30s. I'm in, you know, the mid 30s. So what's happening after that? So that was kind of funny. Not funny, but just reality just hitting. But it was a really cool memory because I got to spend a lot of time with family, and it was a really nice day. For April, here, this is the image that I selected. And by the way, if you go through your images on your phone or whatever, this is what is going to take the most time to make this project if you're doing a retrospective, if you decide to do a retrospective design, because I couldn't choose just one. And it was really hard to streamline. I just wanted to put everything. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, again, what is the goal of this card? If I give this to my grandma or my aunt and uncle, they want to maybe ease into like that conversation because they don't understand what is design or what is branding or what is other income stream, right? Like speaking. So just picking one and something that they can maybe understand too. I always try to keep my audience in mind whenever I make those design decisions, even if it's for a personal project. So this is, again, something you don't have to do this. Like if you're doing a personal project and it's for you, I mean, by all means, have fun with it. But again, I had a very specific goal here in mind. So right now I'm just removing the stroke that is around all of those pictures. This here we can also maybe make a tad smaller because we don't understand that it's a festival. Like so. Okay, so now we understand like how to design it. We can add some text. Maybe let's look at the cover a little bit. So again, if you're doing it, if your intention is to going to the printer, you'll have to keep in mind that the cover, there is a front, there's a back, and then there's the inside cover. So here we have the front. So what could we say here? I have prepared some copy for us, which if you're not good at copy like I am, you can definitely ask Chat GPT to help you out. I explained my concept to Chat GPT and I asked, what should I write? Like what title could I use on top of this? And it said folded memories. Also, if you're not a great writer with ChatGPT and you are having a hard time with prompts, something that you can do is have the app on your phone and there is a voice option that you can talk to it. This has helped me so much whenever I wanted to explain a project that it was still being formed in my head. And whenever I would talk to it, to ChatGPT, it would organize my thoughts and I was able to then write about it to a client. And I did the exact same for this project. So folded memories here is how we're titling our card. And of course, because again, if you know me, you know I like a good type, a nice typography. So I decided to go with editor's notes, which you can get on Creative Market. The reason why I like it is because it has that, it's a serif font. And again, it gives that nostalgia vibe, specifically here with the S's, which we won't see because I'm going to put it in caps like so. And then again, if you know me, you know that Elsa text is my go-to for regular regular text. We're going to put that in medium and we will say a year in review and add that on the side here. We can also add something at the back. I don't necessarily want to center it. The reason why is because if we go back to our layers and we put the holes, if we click it back, this is going to take a lot of real estate, the bow at the end, or if ever, let me just go back and show it to you quickly. The bow here is taking a lot of space, so this is centered. So that's why having the title at the top balances the design a lot more. Let's go back to our working files. So here we could say Happy New Year and cheers to 2025. Oh, Jack is in the house. Hello, Jack. How are you? Jack, can you share a nice memory or highlight that you had this year with us? That would be great. Okay, so now we're working on the inside cover, and there's two things that you can do here. Either you keep the space plain just like that, so you can add a personal message that you write by hand. You can pre-write a message here, which I have actually, I have one here just to explain what this is, because I'm hoping this is the first time that my family will get this type of card. I'm just creating a text box here. So personally, I don't necessarily like to always use the text box because it is hard for me to work with. I feel like I don't have that much control. I hate when this happens, but for this, it's okay. We can definitely fix it. We'll just make that a little bigger. Do we have some type police in the crowd right now? If you're seeing this, that it's kind of like making you twitch, it's making me twitch right now. And maybe the trick is just to make it a tad smaller so it fits better, like so. Perfect. Like so. I think we can bring this back here and have a nice hello, just so it ties the design to the front. So you see this, and this is the first page that you see. This is page 1. And I was thinking for the back here, going in and explaining all of the photos. So let's say my family parties, we are over 20 people. So maybe I won't get the chance to speak to everyone, but I will get the chance to give a card to everyone. So just so they have enough information, I took the time to write what each photo represented from each highlight. So I have that paragraph here. And I'm going to show you something that I haven't done in a while, but always love to do. So here, I'm just gonna add it like this, maybe add a bit more space in between each line. And this is at 10 points. See, if I were to make it smaller, this is way too small, specifically for my grandma. And if I were to use a text box, we would lose kind of the list effect that I'm trying to create here. So I'm actually going to put it like this. Then when I'm happy with it, I'm like, oh, but I wanted to edit the text a little, maybe edit the text, or maybe add some bolds and italics. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to come here at the bottom. This is a little bit hard to see, but if you go all the way down at the bottom of Illustrator, maybe I can move this up a tiny bit. Sorry, let me see if I can do this. It's right, oh, it's just going back. Okay, so it's at the bottom, and there is the 0 degree like number. If you click on it and you do 90, or maybe it's minus, and you click enter, it will actually shift your whole canvas into a 90 degree, or in this case, minus 90 degree, because we want it on that side. If it was just 90, it would go to the other side like so. So let's just go back to minus. And now I am in the perfect position to go and add like bolds, italics, and so on, like so. This is a quick trick that is so fun to use. This is also something that I think a lot of illustrators, when I say illustrator, like people that do illustration use, so they can have like that full 360 view on their design. Just adding some bolds here. There you go. Almost done. Oops. Another thing too, if you're thinking of sending this to the printer, if you're working on it as we are working right now together, I'd say I would send it sooner rather than later, because it might take a few days for the printer to print this and put it together. So this is something to keep in mind. I always try to give 5 days to the printer. Sometimes I'm not that lucky. Sometimes deadlines pile on and it's like, hey, can I have this for tomorrow? Don't do this. It's not the best. That's not the best way to keep your printer happy, specifically if you want to develop a friendship with them. But sometimes it's just a reality. They know that this happens, but yeah, just try not to do it. I say 5 days. This project could be a 3-day turnaround, I find, because it's not that big. And also, if you don't want them to glue this piece for you, just ask to print it separately and then you can glue it. You will save on cost by doing so. All right, so I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. Now let's just repeat this to give you an idea. So I'll just reposition this between the lines. And the lines here is where you fold your paper. Oops, I realized that I have copied the lines from above as well, which we don't want because this is confusing. We'll make sure that, okay, there you go. We'll make sure that there's only one score line for when this is where we want it to fold. That's to create the accordion effect that we have seen at the beginning of the stream. Now let me change those photos very quickly by using the link. Maybe I can also go through what the images are. So December here is a photo after we were taking down an art exhibition at the gallery, and I was kind of mourning the project. It was so fun, that project, and now that it was over, it was really sad for me. So this was my highlight. For November was definitely launching the Building Bridges zine, which I have talked about in Ask a Designer with Phil. Let me just make that a little smaller. There you go. This does not give the same effect in black and white, but that's okay. October, well, you all know what happens in October. Adobe Max, this girl was really happy to attend. Definitely one of my highlights, because I've also presented at Adobe Max to the enterprise folks, so this was really fun. This is September. I was nominated to do a campaign for the Small Business Week And I had a feature, so this was from that photo shoot. Super fun. August, the Ottawa Design Club and I hosted the biggest event that we've ever done, where we had interactive artworks. This was an interactive artwork. It was a chair that we have recovered with like paper scraps, and it's a collage chair, and it looks amazing. We also called it the community chair. And last but not least, oh, I'm so happy that we're ending on that one. For the positioning of the images. This is a picture of my significant other and I. This is in our anniversary. And when we were at the restaurant, right after this photo, we have decided that we're getting married next year. So this was really fun. Definitely a highlight. All right, so now the only thing that would be missing here would be adding like the months or maybe text underneath, but you get the idea. I want to show you, like, this was again my retrospective. You can do so much with it. Like, here's another design that I've done, and it's inspired by patterns from Matisse. Matisse, if you don't know who Matisse is a painter. He started by painting, and then he transitioned to collage. It is one of my favorite artists, and he has a lot of collages that are in this hue of blue. And if you wanted to give some inspiration, like I'm using it as a retrospective, but if you wanted to give something else, like pattern idea to your clients, to your design friends, to, again, anyone that is from your surrounding, you can do something like this, have some description of the patterns, and gift that. Let me tell you, if you were to give this in any circumstances or event, you will definitely stand out. So a lot of people say that print is dead, but it's not. Because if we look at the surveys and even the print shops, like, they're still in business, they're still very busy. There's something about the tactile that it creates an experience. So yes, where we have a lot of digital, I'm not dismissing digital. Digital is very important, but having something tangible adds to the experience. So never dismiss print. So that was my little spiel, dropping the mic from my TED Talk now. All right, so we have Alessandra saying, so sweet, congrats. Thank you so much. We are very happy. Christelle, I love Matisse, amazing patterns. Right? This is so inspiring. I definitely love this one. And I've used the exact same template to create this. All right, now I want to hop to the one that you can print at home. So because most printer, they don't print big. So what we need to just shorten this piece here. While here we had it at 18.5 inches, right? We don't have any pages that fits into a printer that is 18 inches length. So here, I don't remember how big this one is. It is 10 inches. So it's like perfect for 8.5 by 11. Same thing here, that you can create your card. And I'll show you after. I'll design this very quickly, and then I'll show you how to assemble it. I scanned everything for you, and I made you a little how-to in a presentation. So before we do this, I want to say hi to Morale on YouTube, Erica. Yes, we have Cyan Vampire Viking Mitchell. That is such a cool name. Look at you. Christelle is asking, do you do these patterns in Illustrator? Yes, actually. Do you want me to show you? I can go back. Oops. I can go back and show you. So here I am in trim view. Whenever you're in trim view, it's just removing everything that is outside of the artboard, which I need to do because Sometimes it's just overwhelming. So how I would do it, I would create this shape so it's fitting perfectly in one of the pages. I would bring it to this side. I actually want it to be that color for the background. And then I will use draw inside, and it's not lit. Oh, there you go. Draw inside. Then I would use the pencil tool. I want to make sure that the pencil tool is this color. And because it's draw inside, I can do everything I want, and it's going to stay inside, like so. So here, let's create a little pattern. Let's maybe create a flower. Actually, you have to make sure that you're closing the shape, like so. See how even when I go outside, it keeps it inside. How cool is this? I can make a bigger shape. I will. And I will do something like that. This is not the best shape, but that's okay. So we can come here and just adjust the corners a little bit. And let's say that you wanted to edit this after, you can always come here, object, clipping mask, and then edit mask. Oops. Or, you cannot release it. My bad. I thought you could release it, but you can always come here and then edit it in here. There you go. This is how you do it. You could also use the pen tool. You can use like all of your tools to create some patterns like that. All right, so here, this is the home. If you want to print at home, same thing. The cover is the exact same like size. So here I was thinking maybe we could do something from my cat, because so the inspiration for that one was, you know, when we see all of those family photos with like the kids and, you know, the dog. Well, we don't have kids, but we have a cat that we do treat as our own child. So maybe he wants to have his own Christmas garden highlights. So Yam's moments of the year. And then let's have a nice font for it. I feel like this is a good one. I like all caps because it takes a lot of real estate. Let's make that bigger. And I want to bring this at the bottom just to make some diversity from the other card. And we will do the same thing. Actually, for this one, I will bring all of the photos and I will quickly mask them. So I have selected some photos of Yam. So these are a little big, but that's okay. We can make them smaller. I need 4 photos, so I will use this one. How cute is this? Oh, it keeps going small. Sometimes it does this and you just need to place it in place again. There you go. Now it's working. Make it smaller. Now I have my rectangle shape. Reason why I like to have the stroke around it in a like flashy color is that I can see exactly like what I'm cropping. You want to make sure that it's at the front and that we're positioning it properly. Here, Command 7, and there you go. this would be the first one. And because we're printing this at home, we don't have to worry about the bleeds that much. It's good to have them, but not a necessity. So same thing. This here was Yam sleeping on my desk. And sometimes when he sleeps right here, I actually can't move my mouse, and it's actually really hard to work. Yeah, I just saw Voodoo Val. Put a cat in the chat if you get this sweet baby pets. Yes. Or if you have pets, let me know. I want to know. What are their names? There you go. I mean, how cute is this? Literally my favorite people in a photo. Oh my goodness. Again, bring it at the front. Clipping it. Okay, this is a little too tight, although I do think this view is very funny. Again, using my direct selection tool, just making that a tad smaller. And coming to add this in here. Okay, I'm being mindful of the time. Let me share the presentation. And I will ask to add, I will add the presentation in the link for you to download right after, so you can have it. Okay. So here, this was our mood board. We did all this. So this is the template. It's actually explaining like everything, like what are the pages. This is a guide for you. But again, if you want to assemble it at home, you will need a pair of scissors or X-Acto knife. This is to cut everything. Glue or double-sided tape. I like double-sided tape because it's just like less, it's not as messy. Nice ribbon, markers is to add your personal touch, and a hole punch. So as you can see here, this is the cover. This is where you add glue, and this is where you fold, right here. And then this is the inside cover. So this is where you would add your message. You can make it quirky. Like here I'm saying, life is so good alongside mama and dada. As long as they give me lots of treats and kisses. And this is where you glue the inside. And actually, let me show that to you, because I have the pieces right over here. So as you can see, this is your cover. By the way, you can be cute with it. This is your pages that are folded. And here, see, you put the double-sided tape on here. And then you put this side in the fold of the card. Like so. Like so here. And then when you fold it, it will close perfectly like that. Okay? So let's go back here. Like so. And then you want to use a hole punch. So the hole punch, like there, that's why we had some little circles right here. You use a hole punch, you make that hole, and then you can add a nice ribbon to just tie it all up. And it looks like that. How fun is this? Thank you, Alessandra, for saying very nice. Thank you, Stony, for saying this is a cool project. Oh, and Stony is saying we have a black cat, Luna, and a gray cat, Mippers, and now we have 2 stray kittens, Griffin and Squeaky. Aw, don't we love that? That's such a nice little cat family. This is awesome. And we have Becca saying, oh my God, haha. Voodoo Val, mine is named Paladin Jack. Oh, I love this. This is awesome, Voodoo Val. And also would not expect anything else from you. Becca, I have a Callio cat named Whiskey. Ooh, I like that. Is it like a play on word with whiskers and whiskey? I love this. And Voodoo Val, I have an orange cat with one single orange brain cell. I mean, this is a thing with orange cat apparently, so I hear you on that. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of cat like talk. Oh, this is so cool. Design classes, you might have a posting the template. Yes, so they're asking about the templates. So the templates are actually in the description. If they're not there now, they will be right after the stream. Do not worry, and you can work with that. And Franco is asking, wouldn't this be better in InDesign? I mean, you could. To me, seeing everything at once on one, all of the artboards at once was easier for me, like so. I could, because if it was on InDesign, I would have to create an artboard for this and then one for this separately because the glue is not at the same place. But for the cover, definitely that would be easier. You would see the cover top and bottom, or however you want to design it. Up to you. Personally, Illustrator is my go-to. I am very, I work really easily in it. So this is why, for me, Illustrator was the go-to choice. Morale saying, beautiful design. Thank you so much. All right, so we have a few minutes left. I want to show you what everything looks like in person and literally opening everything as if it was a gift. So I have Yam's little card here. I actually added a photo of Yam in here. It's hard to see. And I really liked adding my own little writing. Like I just have a hello here. And this color for the ribbon is actually the same color as some bows that I have in my Christmas tree. So I think that this is fun. It ties everything together. When you open it, then you have this. So I added, a nice message here. I have another message right here. It says, cheers to more cat pictures, because God knows this is taking 50% of all my memories, cat pictures. And then we have the little accordion here. And at the back, I have added explanation by hand of all of the cat pictures. So the reason why we can't do double-sided at home is just because we don't have that printer technology. But if you were to print it at a printer, it would look like this. Let me just fold it back up. So this is the card. You would have your bow right here. And when you open it, you have that message. Again, this is where you glue your piece. And then you have one side, which is the first 6 months of the year. And then on the other side, the other 6 months of the year. And all of the explanation here. And I went very minimalistic at the back. So this is your project. Like I said, you can use this for a campaign. It could be for like art exhibition, for music. If you want to share a playlist with someone, you could have lyrics on each pages, have a QR code that goes to a Spotify playlist. You could be doing 12 different fonts for the year where you're giving someone fonts and you say, please try, like a challenge, try to use these fonts in your project. And they always have this on the side. Literally, this design can do everything that your mind can think about. Thank you so much for everything, everyone. It's been a wonderful year streaming with all of you. And I cannot wait to see what 2025 will like bring for me, for all of you. And happy holidays, and stay tuned because we have another stream with Ryan Selvey, which will be amazing. Take care, everyone.